Doesn't mean that he doesn't need the treatment. It just means that we have to find another form of treatment for Mr. Ingram. So unfortunately, our social worker is out. I'm still going to be working with Mr. Ingram as I have other matters with him, as well as trying to figure out the best course of treatment for his mental health. Again, we tried mental health court, but it just didn't work out. And so he was released from mental health court. And I think it just probably moved a little too fast for him trying to get him situated with that. So again, Your Honor, I think we just got to find the right form of treatment for Mr. Ingram, and I would just ask the court to consider time served on this matter. He's not going anywhere as he has other matters pending, but I would just ask time served as opposed to 365 days as requested or recommended.
I understand that when he was with Judge Fickner, that he didn't, well, let's put it this way. I understand that it was difficult to work with him in that he wasn't truthful on certain things, not even where he was living. Didn't you have Sergeant Fitzmaurice take you to a house that you said was yours?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So when I look at your record, you had some stuff back in 13, did you? There was a lapse between 13 and 20. Where were you? You down in the Detroit area or?
13. Yeah. Detroit.
Okay. And then you came back to Saginaw in 20, which you then embarked on your on coming through court system. 20, 21, 23 was a banner year. You got your frequent flyer card checked quite a bit. Not only that, but I understand, I see here that you're charged with domestic violence and so forth. I'm going to do this. Who's he in front of on the other case?
That looks like Judge Fickner.
He does have a case in front of Judge Fickner still pending. And that, it look like that prelim is reset.
But that's on
That's
on the resist instructing and the retail fraud.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right.
Felony 24-27.
6FY. Now I see it again. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead with the recommendations. If Ms. Romo has a facility form to go to, consider then suspending the remaining of the sentence in order to do that. However, well, he's been afforded every opportunity to address these issues and he's been resistant. So the only thing I know what to do now is in order so that people who are safe in their property and that in the history of intimate partner abuse will concern. Therefore, the court will adopt the recommendations. Right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Tipo versus Simalik or Similek on 241251. Good morning.
Morning, Your Honor.
Any additions, subtractions, or deletions?
Your Honor, Matthew Boucher on behalf of Jennifer Smilik, who is standing to my right. We've had a chance to review the PSI. There are no additions, deletions, or corrections.
Anything else by way of elocution?
Just briefly, Your Honor, my client's accepted responsibility on this matter. I don't want to talk about her past, but she's had some serious problems in her past with other individuals stalking her. She's had name changes, relocation, I think part of that led to the circumstance here. She thought somebody was following her. She made the poor choice of getting behind the wheel. She understands that. I think the recommendations do address with the DOT program, giving her some tools moving forward on making better choices. She really has no criminal record. We're asking the court to adopt the recommendations. It's been very difficult on her. She understands that she made a poor choice and she is going to suffer some penalties for that. Thank you.
So this is what I'm gonna do, 1 day credit, $500 fines and costs, fees 3 through 6. Rather than DOT, I was gonna suggest CST counseling. Given the issue with regard to facts that you brought up. I think that would be a better fit. Alternative 92 days, time to pay, start with 60 days separate payment. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Lomsky, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. In the matter of People versus Myrie on file number 233174.
Your Honor, for the record, Patricia Slomsky, appearing on behalf of Mr. Myrie, stands to my right. We have reviewed the contents of the pre-sentence report prepared to facilitate sentencing in this matter. I would just simply indicate that there was a simple one correction. He has 3 prior convictions, not 4, 3 too many to be true, but that's an error.
Okay.
With respect to the recommendation, I have talked to the probation agent. My client has been involved in counseling with this minister. He's been on SoberLink. Apparently, there's been no issues in this case. I guess the court, to adopt the recommendation, say the recommendation of 5 jails credit or 5 days in jail. Excuse me. Credit for 2 days, given his tickle.
Water?
David, that's some water back there.
You want me to recall the case?
I'm fine,
All right.
just something. tickled in the wrong way.
Oh,
At any rate, I would ask that those 3 days be suspended.
all right. Well, here we do this. Well, under the statute, there's supposed to be the 5. However, placed him on SoberLink. He has been on there for 163 days in SoberLink already.
Yes.
So, based on that, I'm gonna do a little trade-off. The counseling, I'll need the counseling either through DOT or through a facility that is approved by a probation department, okay? And I don't think I need to reiterate why. We've had, all within the short period of time, one charged as a 3rd, and then brought down to a 2nd. My concern is trying to figure out why you're relying on the alcohol, which goes back way since 2014. So given that, I am going to. So I'm gonna do the 2 days with 2 days credit. I'm gonna suspend the 3 days because you're working, correct?
Yes, sir, I am working.
Yeah, so I don't want to do anything that impairs your employment. I also understand that you are on probation with circuit court until 2025 or Bay County. Which one is it? I forget.
I believe so, yes, sir.
Or you're the one on probation, I'm not, so I don't want to believe. I want to know. Who are you on probation with?
Agent Kathy,
Okay,
Saginaw County.
right. And is that from the Bay County incident then?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, okay. And you've been meeting regularly with him, I understand, correct?
Yes,
So,
sir.
not gonna put you on 2 probations. But I am going to, do the, 270 days on, Silverlink. So you're gonna have some more time on that. I'm gonna give you 100 days credit. As far as the fines. Because of the treatment and so forth, I'm gonna bring those fines way down. $500 for the fines and costs. You still have the fees. 3 through 7. Adopt or its equivalent. Vehicle mobilization, is for 90 days unless there is another reason why it shouldn't be, but a petition will have to be filed. And then the alternative will be 360, or excuse me, 363. Is there anything else?
I don't know. I am not the owner of that vehicle.
I know,
I
but you
don't.
get for, you're doing things that now is involving other people's property, and I think it was your mother's car, wasn't it?
Sir,
And so now, because of your actions, the consequences of your actions is that your mother won't have access to that car for 90 days.
she doesn't have the car at all anymore.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we'll need proof that she doesn't have it, okay? If there is some other way that allows for her to have access to the car, if she still has the car, there's a form your attorney will be able to advise you. There's a hearing that will be needed or will be necessary. If the car is no longer within ownership, but we'll need that form or that. proof. Okay?
You want to submit that to?
Ms. Lyons. Yeah. Good luck with everything.
Time to pay.
Time to pay 60 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lonsky. Hope you're feeling better. In the matter of People versus Mac, 24484, Mr. Mac, get back.
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right. Any additions, subtractions, or deletions?
No, Your Honor, it says that you adopt the recommendation of Mr. Mack.
Did he drug test?
He did, it's only positive for marijuana. Your Honor.
I was kind of interested in why you didn't at least give me your version of the events.
Say, after I was saying, after already originally was speaking for.
All right. So then the version that Deputy Howard Johnson had, you agreed with?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. And let's see, are you on day reporting as well?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so. Okay. Then the only other thing is, let's see. On the count one. Got the recommendations. And to pay 60 days. With regard to count two. 3 days, credit for 3 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Mack, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. Better choices. Maybe listen to Mac tonight, because he can be sharp.
You-
Yeah, Mr.
That's
Quinn.
Andrew Clancy.
Miss Underwood.
Miss Underwood here.
Yes.
All right. You're covering for Miss Newbert.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Covering, I'll call next. People versus Underwood on 232639. Appearances for the record.
Good morning, Judge. Ethan Day standing in on behalf of Ms. Newbert and on behalf of Ms. Underwood, who stands to my left.
Okay. Let's see. I think we have a bench. I have she violated terms and conditions of bond by not drug testing. Is that the case?
Yes, Judge.
All right, recall warrant. Any additions, subtractions, or deletions?
No, Judge.
Anything else by way of allocution?
As to allocution, Judge, I would just like the court to know that Ms. Underwood has been nothing but courteous, patient, and forthcoming with me today. She has 3 children. We've had occasion to review the report with her. She understands that she has substance issues. She'd like to work to get those resolved, and I don't know that 90 days jail is the proper way to go about it. We would ask for the Odyssey House for her to serve her time there, or something equivalent, Judge.
She did drug test this morning, correct?
Yes, Judge, she tested positive for cocaine, meth, and marijuana.
And that's why she didn't want to drug test before, was because she was still using.
Likely, Judge, but also she has been dealing with some mental health issues and was in the hospital for 3 days.
I don't know how meth is helping with mental health issues.
Understood, Judge.
And she failed to appear for screening on 6/17. Why didn't she show up for that?
I had a doctor's appointment and I didn't realize that I had court on the 17th. I knew I had court on the 3rd, but I wasn't sure about the 17th.
That's what you really want me to agree with or believe in?
Is that true?
It's on the calendar.
What happened to your case down in Ohio? Which position is that?
What?
You had a drunk driving down in Ohio. What happened with that?
I think it was cocaine. I've been struggling with it, sorry.
I understand. that. I'm asking what happened with the case.
No, they didn't, I had a broken back, I had surgery, then I
That's
went
not my
home.
question. My question is, what was the result of the case?
I never went to court for it.
She never went to court for it, Judge.
I didn't know there was a court thing.
So why have you been resistant to change?
I've been trying to change, my drug of choice is heroin. And I've been doing nothing, I don't take myself. The cocaine I'm struggling with.
And why have you not sought treatment or stayed with treatment?
I have been, I've just been switching every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Every time I've seen you, you've been slipping.
We understand she has issues, Judge. That's why we'd be asking for treatment.
Problem with that, I just, first of all, I got a detoxer,
Understood.
so. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjourn today. I'm going to remand her to custody. Within that time, you will then meet with the probation agent. It'll probably be Ms. Slaughter, my guess.
Yes.
So you'll have Ms. Slaughter to meet with while you're in jail. The sentencing will be scheduled, and then we will come back and then, start anew. In that meantime, that should give you a time to detox, get the system out of your system, what is floating around. I know then if you're in jail, at least I can be somewhat sure, although I'll probably have a drug test before you can go to jail, just to make sure that no one snuck anything in. And then we'll start. All right. Man to the county.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Wright, is Miss Stuckey here?
Miss Stuckey just called me from Cumberland Hospital. She apparently went in last night for a kidney problem. He has a relative here who voted for that, but I just talked to her on the phone, told me can I cover it?
Mhm.
Commissioner, if I want some documentation, I will then notify or send an email to the probation department.
Well, are you also on, the 2366 FH case?
Yes, I am here.
Oh, so you know, there's a bond was revoked on that case.
I understand, Your Honor.
All right, you know, bond.
Because of the matter pending before you today.
I always appreciate the great zeal that you fight on behalf for your clients. In this case, I'll issue a bench warrant with a hold, do not release. Then if she requires, further care in the jail, that can be provided.
Thank you.
As always, thank you, Mr. Wright. Have a pleasant day. People versus Miralev on file number 234903.
Morning, Your Honor, Adam Kane, Chesney, on behalf of Mr. Miralez.
Any additions, subtractions, or deletions? Anything else by way of elocution?
Your Honor, I mean, there's no denying the fact that this is his 10th go round on a case like this. Prior to this, it's been about 8 years. It's been convicted of something like this, indicated to me that most of this was in his youth, was drug related. This was not drug related this time. It's explained to me as to why. However, you know, there's no justification for stealing. But he is apologetic. He is on SSI. He goes to jail for the recommended time, loses housing, loses funding. I'd ask the court to tailor some different sentence that is not the recommended.
Mr. Miralez, anything that you want to add before sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been struggling with depression and bipolar. And I've been seeking out help. I truly have been trying to change.
Where, when?
I'm dealing with GT and I Bay Road. I'm talking to a psychiatrist out there. To deal with my problems.
Refresh me on when you were with Miss Joseph back in 22 when I had you. What did you address then?
My behavior, my outburst.
And if I would probably imagine that Miss Joseph said, so as you can think yourself into a situation, you can think yourself out of the situation. Do you remember her saying that to you?
Yes, I do.
Do you also remember her probably saying that don't fall on the fact that if you have mental health issues, that is not the reason why you are not regulating your behavior as to stealing in this instance, correct?
That's correct.
And so what have you done since the last time I had you when you were discharged back in October of 23? You said you were going to TTI?
Yes,
How often were you going to TTI?
I've been going every week now for counseling. And every month to see a psychiatrist. They see me every other day, trying to deliver my medicine to me. I talk to them about things that I'm going through, and then I'm feeling.
Well, what has that done? There's gonna be one more. There's gonna be one more. There's gonna be one more going.
Okay. I'll let him know.
Let me know. Mr. Miralez, this is what concerns me. In 16, you had a retail fraud, second degree. 22, I saw you with the domestic violence, second. In 16, you had domestic violence as well. Then you also went to prison for a period of time with your retail fraud prior. The impact that stealing has, is what drives the costs up for other people when they go to buy merchandise. Not only that, but you're taking money away from a business that can be used to hire other people to update their plant and equipment. And that's just not fair that you get to steal and everyone else has to pay for your behalf. I don't care in what condition you are in, you can regulate whether or not you steal. The fact that you are doing that is of great concern that you haven't stopped. So that 30 days, credit 0. You're released on this.
We have to give them appellate rights here.
What's that?
I think you gotta give them appellate rights. Yep, go ahead and see.
In the matter of People versus Frankie on 24946, this is your last one.
It is.
All right, anyway.
John Kaniszewski and Mr. Shramky.
All right. Any additions, subtractions, or deletions?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else by way of elocution?
Your Honor, after he entered a plea, he was accepted into Veterans Treatment Court. Been going for the last month, says it's going very well for him. I spoke with the prosecutor's office this morning. They have no objection, and in fact recommended the latest sentence as it relates to count 1 in a deferred sentence under 7411, which is eligible for under count 4, and grant those dismissals upon the successful completion of Veterans Court. My suggestion is to sentence him to Veterans Court, place him on that delay and on that deferral respectively, and then let Judge Hoffman, I guess, decide what terms and such he wants underneath this supervision.
Okay.
Your Honor, I understood that the delayed sentence could be no more than a year.
We have waived jurisdiction to allow the court to do 18 months. That helps.
Why don't I talk about your 12 months? And the main case is with Judge Hoffman. This case, I understand, will be transferred over so you can just monitor. You also drug tested today and that test was negative.
Yes, sure.
So thank you for your service as well in the military. So rather than going through all the terms, I'm just going to adopt in the sense of the supervised probation for the 18 months with the delay and deferred 2 days, 2 days credit. I believe though that there is a fee of 125, 75 and 50. So if that's not the case, I don't know how Judge Hoffman deals with the fees. There's a $50 statement cost on count 4. And then the only terms that I'll have is that you must comply with all conditions of Veterans Court as outlined in your contract. And then that's dictated to by Judge Hoffman and the Vets Court team. And then with the fees that you do all the time to pay is 60 days or what Judge Hoffman wants to do. I believe then that the case will be transferred over. So, all right. Thank you. Good luck with everything. All the best to you. In the matter of People versus Quinn, on file number 24465. Appearances for the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Kerry Sawyer for Andrew Quinn.
Okay. Are there any additions, subtractions, or deletions itself to the report?
No, Your Honor.
And then I did receive your packet. I appreciate the letter that you prepared with all the information that you prepared. That was helpful and welcome. Reviewing this. Is there anything that you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, briefly, I'll try not to repeat the matters contained in the submissions to the court. I do want to mention that Andrew's parents are here in the courtroom, David, Kristen Quinn. First of all, as I mentioned in the correspondence, at the risk of repeating a couple things, Andrew accepts full responsibility for the matter that occurred. It was a single car in a ditch accident. It was out of character for Andrew. Quite an egregious error. Compounding that, you know, he was less than compliant with the police officers. We discussed that whole situation. Quite frankly, he has limited memory of the occurrence, which is also not a great thing.
No,
But as I mentioned to him before, you know, people make mistakes, but it's how he handles them, how he has handled it. He's written an apology letter on his own volition, by the way, not at my instruction, to the police officers involved. He hit a mailbox and he's written a letter to that lady, Miss Beverly Shaw, and in other words, he's handled this in an exemplary manner after the occurrence. So, on another note, he's a very accomplished young man, and this occurrence was out of character relative to his accomplishments. He's an excellent athlete, which indicates that he has the discipline going forward not to let this happen again. He has a very good family and support structure. He has a bright future in the medical area, which he's in school for now, and he's brought his grades up to a 3.7, I think, which comes in another, which notes another saying, in adversity, there's opportunity. This was a wake-up call for Andrew, and he's since changed his environment and roommates. He's working at Colwell Health in Ludington in his nursing degree. I won't belabor the character letters, which indicate what type of young man he is in all other arenas. All that said, I believe that he will tell the court in a second that he does realize and get the message about how dangerous drinking and driving can be. And he's fortunate that somebody wasn't hurt, including himself. So I ask the court to follow the recommendations of the PSI.
and Mr. Quinn, anything you want to add?
Your Honor, as Mr. Sawyer said, I do realize how dangerous this could have been, and that I'm lucky to come out of it as I have.
Yeah, no, you are. The fact that you're going into nursing, you'll probably have to revisit this with your character and fitness committee, or whatever they call it, committee, that deals with the certification. So it's gonna follow you for a minute, but you certainly have taken the steps. One, I don't believe we'll ever see it through the system again. Two, you certainly have handled what you did on that night by accepting responsibility. And not only the letters that I saw that you wrote to the officers, but I think the effects of your schooling shows that you've taken steps to change your circumstance or what you were doing that caused you to do it on the night. So with that, adopt the recommendations in this sense. One day credit, $500 fines and costs, 325, number 7. To complete the same, then alternative 92. Time to pay, 8 days, will start with 60 days. Anything else, Mr. Quinn?
No, thank you for your consideration. I think your judgment and trust in his future is well placed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to this court. It was a pleasure to meet you and to have you before the court.
No, it's my pleasure. Good to see you, Your Honor.
Same. Good luck. In the matter of People versus Pearson, 234788. Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor, Andrew Collison on behalf of Ms. Pearson, who's present to my left here.
All right. Any additions, subtractions, or deletions? Hi, Ms. Pearson.
Hi, how are you?
No. No, Judge.
Okay, anything else by way of elocution?
Nothing for me.
Okay. Ms. Pearson, anything that you want to add?
No, sorry.
All right. I was just a little worried. I know you had something a long time ago back in '96 that popped up, but I was just kind of curious in the sense of how you're getting along. And what caused you to do what you did on that day?
I didn't want to spend all my expense because I had some planned for another day, so
Yeah.
that's what that was. Done on my behalf, but that's exactly what it was.
Right. Have you, I know I see that you had applied for some support, that decision has not come in yet, I see. Have you reached out to social service agencies as far as assisting with food?
Yeah, they directed me to a couple pantries, but they don't give out meat.
Oh,
It's just all canned goods and rotten fruit.
yeah, so it's not the best of.
No, it's not so.
All right. Have you tried all of them, the different ones
I
around?
went to 5, yes, sir.
Five. Okay. What have you done since this case? In the sense of, I see what you said, that you've gone to 5 different,
Well, what I've done, I'm regulating my mind, basically to not pick up or take anything that don't belong.
what did you take? I didn't see what it was.
It was a big thing of hamburger meat,
Okay.
and I think on the thing was, bell pepper.
Yeah,
I can't remember the other one, but I think it was additional 4 items. It could have been bacon, I believe it was.
okay. But it was food that you were taking.
Yes, sir.
So with regard to the fines and costs, so forth, I'm gonna suspend those. With regard to, I think what I might do is send you over to CST to talk to Miss Joseph. To let her know your predicament. See if she
Okay.
can't come up with better resolution.
Yes,
Or
sir.
maybe some other way to work with this. Either through other organizations or maybe something that you can do to help change what predicament you're in, meaning that what you're experiencing, tell others what needs to be done to help avoid put you in that position as far as whether it's not the housing commission, but CAC or whoever's running some of the food banks.
Okay.
And then, and it's 3 days. All right, so we'll get you the number to Miss Joseph. Well, I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Allison.